got a fantastic group joining us live today from Copenhagen, from Horsham, from Crawley, from West Grinstead, a variety of beautiful places. So with today, the main focus here is to create a stretch out of the muscles that get shortened during running, during exercise. So with that in mind, we utilize a variety of Pilates, of dynamic stretching, of yoga techniques to ensure that we are raring to go and continue consistent training. Those that have been here a while with mobility, this is just a little light refresher. Already the light's coming back. So with that in mind, today's specific mobility is all about dynamic mobility. A majority of these exercises are 8 reps. And what we look to do is just to lengthen and stretch out the areas that get tightened during running. And we start off with our dynamic hamstring mobility. We do that today by placing your feet shoulder width apart, or for ease, either side of your mat. So you know that you can replicate this at the end of the session. You place your hands at the top of your thighs. You're going to lean forwards on one leg and draw a line down the bottom of the foot as low as you can go. I reach the sock line. It'll be interesting where you get onto that point. Then walk your hands back up to the other side, lean forwards, keeping your knees straight, and draw a line on the other side. I find that left one tighter than my right. How about you? Just take a note of what is tighter, what is looser, and specifically where you're reaching, as that's a good starting point that we can replicate at the end of the session. We then head over to a wall or a mat. You place your hand on the, or chair even, a wall or a chair, place your hand on the chair, and you're going to kick your leg forwards with a straight leg, and then heel flick back, and repeat that movement, keeping your upper body as still as possible. We're looking to do around 8 reps on this one, and then we change onto the other side. Lovely. So heading over to the other side next, and again, making sure that your upper body is staying nice and still. I do this by placing my hand on my hip, like a teapot, and what that allows me to do is make sure the hips aren't moving forwards and back. Lovely job. Okay, placing your feet nice and wide apart here. Come down, touch the instep of your knee, reach back up, head back to the other side. As you do this, you're driving that knee down towards the ground on either side without leaning too far forwards from the shoulders. Lovely. 4 more. Brilliant. 2 to go. Brilliant. Last one. Fantastic. Okay, now we're going to bring our legs across our body. So you're going to do a sweeping base motion across the standing leg. Brilliant work. Again, 8 reps here, right across. Not all reps are 8 today, but a majority are. And change legs. Perfect. As you do this one, you're really sweeping that across the side, shoulders above the hips. Lovely. So we've got next ones for you. So we're going to bring our arms across our body, stretching out through the back. And we're going to start to get some movement into the elbows, into the arms and bits as well. Keep that going across. Brilliant. So you've got your bicep curls where your thumb is going to come up towards your shoulder. And you're just going to alternate on either side. Lovely. 8 on each side. We've passed 4 now. Good. Perfect. 8. Now do the same, but this time we're going to bring the elbows forwards. So it's a little bit more, and you're going to place your hand over your shoulder. So you're throwing something over your shoulder. Getting some movement into the shoulders. 8 on each side. Keep that going. 2 more on each side. Last one. Brilliant. Bring one hand across your body. Squeeze that arm towards your body. Just hold this one here for an 8 count. And a 6. And a 4. And a 2. And a 1. And change sides. Other side. This feels too painful. Don't pull as intensely or shake up the arms instead. Good. Keep that elbow nice and straight here. The triceps tends to be one of the key muscles that can relax there, that directly heads over the back of the arm and traveling across that elbow. So by stretching that one out really helps with the actual joint itself. We'll talk more about that as we go for other areas like the quads and the knees. Lift one arm up, bring that down your spine. As you pull that down the spine, the other hand lightly tap on the top of the elbow or just next to it and just slightly pulls that down, walking your hands down the back. Relax that one, head to the other side, arm up in the air and straight down. Pull that down. Nice and lightly from the top. Good work, team. Fantastic. Shake out those arms. Relax them there. Rotate the shoulders back. Just getting some stretchy, light back mobility, arms forwards. And hands together, drive those away from your chin line, looking straight forwards at your hands. You're going to drive one hand forwards, other hand back to your wrist. Alternate side by side so that one hand is going forwards. Drop your chin down to your chest. Last two, final one. Brilliant. Okay, relax out those arms. We're going to gather the chickens next. Now, this is on many of your plans as a dynamic warm-up at the start of your session. Heel to the floor, toes up, hands come back to the back leg's heel, and you just stretch through and stay to the same side. And we look to utilize 8 reps of this. Take your time here. This is not a rush. This one's really important for the back of the knee. That level on the hamstring area that goes right from that knee round to your ilium, the hip bone itself. Change sides. Keeping it dynamic flushes the muscles with nutritional oxygen and blood. So the blood travels, or the oxygen travels by the blood around to the muscles as we go to the last two. And that helps with the recovery process. So by shortening and lengthening the muscles, that is really key here. Brilliant. Using a wall next, we're going to kick one leg back as a heel flick and just get some movement without shifting our hips. Change onto the other side, and the light comes back in. Amazing. We're going to head down to the mat next. So ideally you want a padded mat for this type of exercise. A couple of towels if you're traveling is not the end of the world. The padded mat just gives a little bit more protection over the knees, and there'll be a couple of extra additives or adds that I throw in if you don't have a padded mat today. We're going to shift the bum up high, and we're going to just push your heels into the floor. 8 on each side, 16 in total. Lovely. Heel down. I'll let you into a little secret here. This type of mobility is my favorite. I get the most response from dynamic mobility. Drive one knee in and push that heel away from the body. Drive that knee back in. You can add a bit of height into this, then great. Going for 8 in total. There's 4. Take your time here. 5. Last 2. Final 1. Good. Whilst you're doing this one, the other foot is on its toes, holding a stretch through the Achilles, through the calves. Lovely. 3 more. Keep the bum high. Good. Okay. Relax that one down. We're going to drive your leg forward in a lunging position, both your toes facing forwards and your knee above your ankle. If you feel as you get into this position, the knees feel a bit grumbly with the impact onto the floor, roll your mat over from the corner and just double up the comfort from your mat or place a cushion or pillow underneath it. Hands come onto the hips. Toes facing forwards, you're going to drive that front knee forwards, hold position for 1 second and head back. Repeat that movement and head back. Good. This will be stretching out the back legs, hip flexors, front of the back legs. If the foot behind sort of travels off to the side of the body, that may not be the case. So make sure that that's nice and parallel between the legs. Going to the final two. Last one. Nice and controlled. Lovely stuff, guys. Well done, Linda. Well done, Mags. Martine. Okay, change sides. Other leg forwards. Again, starting point, knee above ankle. Drive that forwards. Head back. As you're doing these mobility exercises, just take note of your own personalisms, I call them. So what we're looking at here is one side tighter than the other? Is there a sort of a dull ache in one of the exercises that isn't regular and normal for you, especially if you've done these exercises before? Lovely. Last couple left. Brilliant stuff, guys. Okay. From here, come on to all fours. You're going to push your hips back and you're going to pull your belly button in from this exercise too and chin down to your chest. You're going to curve your spine. It's moving into the back. And you're going to push the belly button down and look up. So as the belly button comes down, the hips, imagine they're a bucket of water, are going to tip forwards and pour water out front. Whenever your hips are pouring water out front, your head is up. As you pull the hips back and hold the water in there, your belly button comes high into the spine and up in a curvature motion. Your chin comes to your chest. One last time. Belly button down, up. Point forwards, good. And belly button in, chin down. Chin, not hips, that's the one. There we go. Fantastic, guys. Have a little lie down. Why not? Okay, we're going to head onto our side and get some activation in today. So we're going to place our foot nice and straight along the mat so that your shoulder to your ankle is nice and elongated. You're going to bring your toes in front of you and you're going to drive that down towards the mat, keeping your toes downward throughout. You're going to lift up with your heel high, toes down, and repeat that movement. This should be in front of the relaxed leg on the mat. This exercise is known as Strength 1, and it activates your glute med. The more the glute med is activated, the more neutrally you land and run, and the less pressure comes from your IT band and your hips. Lovely. Come on to the other side. Toes up, heels down. Lovely. Keep it nice and relaxed, especially those that marathoned last week. Or if you're coming back from any hip or IT band niggles currently. Fantastic. Last couple. Brilliant. We're going to finish off with a rainbow. So you start off with your heels down behind the leg. You come round, bring your toes down in front, creating that rainbow over the relaxed leg. Brilliant. Fantastic. 8 in total. 3. Fantastic. 4. Every time you touch down, it counts as a rep. 5. Nice and controlled. 6. It is starting to burn in your hips. You do more of this, guys. Last one. Fantastic. Spin it around to the other side. Great work. Relax the head into the rainbow motion. Heels down behind the foot. Up in the air nice and high. Toes down in front of the foot. Increase that range of motion. Try to keep the hips still. Go for 8 reps. You can do this, but focus on one at a time. A bit like in running. And breathe. I noticed a bit more of a burn there. Are you guys? This should be achy. We're soon going to stretch this out. Last 2. Oh, that feels it just there in the hips. It's like a deep activation stretch. Should we stretch that out then? I think so. Okay, guys. So we're going to lie down here onto our back. Bring one leg across our body. And we're just going to place that ankle against the knee that's relaxed there. From here, keep your hips still. You can do this by placing your hands onto the hips. I'm just going to drive that knee away from the body. To create a greater level of stretch, you can place your hand on the inside of that knee and drive it away. Fantastic. Just stretch out the hips a little. Okay, change over. Other side. Is one side tighter than the other? For reference, mine is yes in response to that. Left is a little tighter. Got a little bit more single leg work this week on that side, so that makes sense. Okay, guys, you're going to place your hands up high. You're going to kick your legs up towards your hands. Brilliant. From here, we go into our posterior chain. We also get some movements into the ankles and Achilles as well by grabbing the front leg, the leg that's closest to your screen, holding behind the leg. If you need to lean forwards, that's fine. And then straightening at the knee. Pull that back towards your upper body, the head, and so forth. And point your toes nice and high towards the ceiling or sky. Bring them back in and repeat that movement, slowly increasing the range of movement behind the calf. This often, if you're new to this upside down flamingo stretch, one of our favorites here at Mobility, this can feel quite rusty as you start, a little bit of an uncomfortable feeling in the calf, behind the knee, down in the Achilles. And that's because it's more of a nervy release rather than a muscular release. Yes, it hits all those joints and muscles, but it also is focusing on that posterior chain pathway, the way that the brain speaks to the feet to keep those legs moving, to dodge that puddle, to move around that ditch, or to overtake that person in front. Rotate that ankle. Getting some movement into the ankles. Is that clicking? If this is the first thing in the morning live Mobility rather than the replay, change direction here, then you're likely releasing synovial fluid, lubricated balls that have solidified whilst you've been still during sleep. And therefore they're clicking back in, adding extra lubrication to the joints. It's a good thing. Bring the knee in nice and close. Hold the top of your knee, squeeze this to your chest, and then head over towards your shoulder. Back towards your chest, squeezing in nicely. You can extend the other leg so your heel is now grounded. And again, bring that back to your shoulder. Place that back into the middle. Lift your hands up above your head and kick both legs one at a time up in a bicycle kick football motion back towards your head. Nice. Good work, guys. So you guys have got a decent background in football, it seems. Look at that. Goal. Nice. Grab the other leg, this time the one furthest away from the screen, the one that hasn't been stretched out. Hold behind the knee. Double check that the knee is straight there. And point your toes up towards the ceiling or sky. Pull that back towards your shin. And repeat that motion. Relax your head down. Slow that movement itself. And take a deep breath in here. And a slow, controlled exhale. Rotate the ankles round. Try and keep the knee locked in, still not moving the leg too much side to side. Change direction. From here, we bend that front knee, squeeze it up towards the chest. And the opposite leg, we extend out. Relax that leg back out, away from the body. And again, bend that knee. Pull that towards the chest and to the shoulder. Brilliant work. And relax back to the middle. Stretch your hand up above your head and your feet up as far as your mat allows you to and your space today allows you to. Bring your chin into your chest and then relax your head back down. Brilliant work, guys. You're doing fantastic so far. We're going to sit up slowly and controlled. Place one leg out in front of your body. Bring the other leg across that body and parallel down with your toes facing forward. Hold the outside of the leg, pull that across your body towards your shoulder. Your head at this stage can look in the opposite direction. We stretch out the glute. Relax that down and take the tension out and then pull that back through, looking to extend a bit further. Again, relax down as you pull that across. Exhale. and relax down. Repeat that motion one last time. We're going to our 4 deeper reps here. Change over to the other side. This time, keeping it straight at first, guys. You don't feel much of a stretch. We've got a level 2 coming up shortly. I see a couple of you already adding it in. Here we go. Relax down and pull that across. Looking away from the direction of the pull. They're coming across this way. Here we go. Head the opposite. Last one. You guys are doing amazing. Brilliant work. We go into our dynamic hip-based movement next. But before we do that, then we'll come back to our level 2 in a moment. We're going to explain a little bit more about how this is dynamic. It's through movement. And then the home roller comes up next. Hip nice and high, knee in across our body. Drop the back knee down. And with this one, we're going to walk our hands back towards our body, shoulders above our hips. And then we're going to walk them forwards. Elbows low, head down. Drop your hips down. Walk those back in. Look over your shoulder, over the other side. Walk them back out. Hips down, lean towards the hip on that side. If this feels tight, just look to make sure this is a gradual base motion. As we're stretching out the hips, bit of movement through the glutes and the IT band. Brilliant work, team. Last one. And walk back in. Listen out for how to get out of this one. Toes at the back come up first, then your hips come high, and then you scoop your foot underneath for safety there. You're going to push your heels into the floor here, drive the other leg forwards and across your body. Knee drops down, walks back, and you walk your hands in as you get to a biting point of that hip. Hips, hands in, shoulder, shoulder, hands forwards, elbows wide, knee, and then the forehead comes down. Brilliant. How's that hip mobility today? Is it starting to progress? Is it particularly tight on one side? Is that what you were expecting? Yeah. As always, we look for a bit of accountability. We use the WhatsApp group for this as we look over both sides. What was the most effective? And by effective, I mean the exercise that really hit the spot this week. What was the key one out of all of those that you thought, whoa, that area was tight and feels a bit looser now? Last one then, guys. Bring those hands in. Shoulder, shoulder. Nice and tall. Hands come up onto your toes. Lift your bum up high. Walk through and throw those heels into the ground. Good. Next up, we focus on our quads today on our foam roller. So grab that foam roller. If you don't have one, that concludes your mobility today. Finish off with your stretch as well. And before we get into those, we're going to go into our level 2 glute stretch for those that have not yet done that. Bend one knee in front of the body, other leg across. So the difference here is you've got a knee bend. Hold the outside of the knee and pull that towards your shoulder. Hold that there for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Change over to the other side. Bending that knee in front, leg across, hands on the outside. Pull that through. Step away from the direction of the pull. Feel more of a stretch through the hips, the glutes. Everyone's unique. Everyone has different mobility needs. Hence, I was asking about where you wanted to stretch just yesterday. Make the most of that from the live call. Okay, relax back through. And with foam roller, we do a brief tutorial here. So for this one, you're going to be focusing on one side. If you've got a shorter foam roller, then you're going to place your knee, the bony part of the knee, on the foam roller initially, just to get into position. Hands come forwards and other knee just goes parallel to that foam roller and relaxes down. You're going to shift forwards so your hips are now parallel to the ground and low. At this point here, you're now just above the bony part of the knee and the pressure is coming through that. You're going to lift the toes of the leg that's feeling the rollout up, and you're going to drive those hips down, walking your hands slowly back, lifting the knee that's on the floor off the ground and walking back as well. The lower you bend your elbows, the more of a stretch you're going to feel through the foam roller. Keep your hips low. If you want to take the pressure off, straighten your elbows like I'm showing here. As you get down towards the end, come into a plank position like we did a moment ago and roll through that last bit over the front of the quads. Again, more of a tutorial than a deeper stretch here. Really key. Over onto the inside now. You're going to rotate your ankles around to face away from the main midline of your body. And the inside of the knee is now going to be on that foam roller. Slowly walk those back. And if you've been running on camber, trails with some, let's call them tired trainers, you may notice this is a bit tight on the other side. Keep your hips low and be careful, gents, as you reach the top of this movement. Hands down low, that you stay comfortable through that. Head on to the other side and the second last exercise of the day. Penultimate exercise today. We're going to get into that position. Test this out. The more you practice it, the better you get. With foam rolling, it shouldn't change your facial expression. If you notice you're grimacing, then the intent is a little bit too much. I'd either recommend a sports massage or just to lift up your hips a little bit and take that pressure off. Great work, guys. We come towards the end of today's session. We're going to drive those toes away from the body, inside of the knee, walk it back. Good work, guys. Great work. Thank you so much again for joining me today. This is great. And we just finished off with a static stretch for our quads by standing up, heading over towards a wall, by flicking your heel back, holding your ankle, driving your knees together and squeezing your glute here. We're going to hold a static stretch through the front of our leg. 5 seconds, 4, 3, squeeze the glutes together. If they've got a 50-pound note there, and relax. Other side. And we start like a good film, but we finish like a good film, like same as how we started, which is with our check-in. So a reminder on this one, your feet come either side of your mat. You place your hands on the top of your hips. You lean forwards to one side, looking to surpass where you started today. Fantastic. All good? Let's try the other side. Driving through, walking through that motion and surpassing where you started. I've gone from sock line to floor. Give me a thumbs up live team if you have improved that as well. Fantastic. Martine, Kate, Lyndon, Sarah, Rebecca, Mags. Guys, absolutely fantastic. Marguerite, well done diving in today. The light came back. The day started. It was a beautiful day in, I wouldn't say sunny Sussex, but in less windy Sussex. Get out, run, make the most of it. And I wish you a fantastic weekend. Let us know where you are park running on the WhatsApp groups. And please let us know today for accountability what your most effective exercise was, if you noticed that one side was tighter or that you really got a good stretch out, so we can add it again in future weeks.